Intro. Hi everyone, welcome to the Strip Down to Love podcast video where the essence of love comes from within. I am your host, Jennifer, and this here is G Money. So it's his nappy time now, so he will be with us snoring or, whatever he does. Hopefully he can sit here with us the whole time. So let's get into it. So today we're going to be talking about how or your behavior stems from your story, or how your story creates your behavior. Now, there's nothing necessarily wrong with using your story to finance your behavior and to give rise to this is how I act, right? Because of this, and this. We're also going to be talking about how your perspective of the world based on your story can drive your behavior, can drive you towards your goals, can move you away from your goals, things like that. Do we really have to live life with and hold on to our story? Those are the kinds of things that we're going to be diving into today. And we're also going to be diving into, how behavior gets, how you have or don't have an ability to put a boundary or a line of energy between your story and your behavior, and how sometimes that can in turn hurt others. So those are the kinds of things that we will be exploring today. All right, so let's get into it, and I will see you all in a little bit. All right, so let's get into what a story actually is. What is a story? What is the definition of a story? So a story is a situation, an experience, a human experience a situation, an experience of trauma, drama, hurt, pain, continuous roller coaster of emotions, maybe the emotions and situations that had occurred during that specific episode we don't know how to work through, and therefore it translates into a certain behavior, right? Or a certain thing of, well, this is how I am. So that's what a story is, okay? I got kind of tongue-tied there. So that's what a story is something that had occurred in our lives. We pull information. Maybe that situation brings to light certain feelings, certain situations. And I want to stay stuck on feelings because it taught us what pain is. It taught us what hurt is. It taught us maybe all of the, and not all, a lot of the ugly things in life. And it brought to light what being a human is. So it may not be the most pleasurable experience that you go through, right? And I'll probably sum this up at the end, so I'm not gonna share this next piece or discuss it yet because I don't think that it's time for it yet. The next question is, does our story help us along this journey in life? Does it hinder us? Does it propel us towards our goals? Do we fashion our goals based on our trauma that we went through? Do we base our childhood goals around our pain that we went through, our experiences? Are these stories, experiences, gateways into our goals? Does it make us more, or does it make certain goals more appealing than other goals? Are we working from trying to run away from the memory of pain that was created from this story? How does the story affect the way that we move about in this world? And these are all of the questions that we have to ask ourselves, right? These are all the things that it's pulling you out of being so caught up in a story that translates into your human behavior and how you treat others and how you perceive others. Are we biased because of our stories? Are we hindered because of our stories? I think that we have to start thinking about these things in a different way, because sometimes, we hold on to the stories so tightly that if you imagine a whole network of roots, right, getting entangled tighter and tighter and tighter, and by the time we know it, these roots are so, or this story is so entangled around feelings and getting caught up in more similar situations because we latch on to these type of stories and these type of people with these stories. And sometimes it becomes such a stiff network that it can break and collapse, right? And maybe you could think about it as rock bottom, or maybe you can think about it as, gosh, the way I'm handling the world right now, aka myself, is not within the best interest of my heart. I believe that our hearts is, or are, one access point to our soul. And our soul, when we're listening to our heart, I'm going to use this, regurgitates, belches out information for our hearts to capture, and then to be able to take it up to our brain so that we can translate it out into a humanly fashion. That's what I believe. And I've been thinking about this for a while now. How can I make my world a happier place? And it's not really about changing where I am Because that could be, also running away from your problems. But you're still taking yourself with you. Wherever you go, you're still taking you and your baggage. And I would be taking G Money, who's down here sleeping, and his stinky farts with me anywhere that I went. So think of your pain and hurt as a stinky fart. It won't ever leave you. Because sometimes we love our pain too much to let go. Money's not my pain. He's my happiness, but he can be a pain in the butt. And a stinky butt at that. But we have to also ask ourselves, have these episodes of pain, and I'm not going to say growth, because not every time do we use episodes of pain to grow. Sometimes they just stay with us, stay with people, and stay with people that by default are hurting us, right? Because you're in their atmosphere, you're in their solar system, right? And I'm not gonna get into, well, whatever someone else is showing you, that's what's inside of you. Like, that's for the purposes of today's podcast, these are two separate things. And I guess I forced myself into it. There are situations where, yes, we see people and are like, wow, am I like that to people? Is that what the universe is telling me? And so, yeah, we wanna work on it. We wanna work on those imperfections to grow that quote unquote imperfection into something beautiful. But that's what I think this podcast of today is to, continuously look at ourselves and pull ourselves away from the story in order to grow those imperfections into something beautiful, into something that will help humanity, whether you create art and it holds a special loving touch in someone's office or in someone's home, So when we explore the triggering aspects of the story and not necessarily hold on to the story and carry that with us, because it's still attracting. If we never explore the triggering episodes or things that have caused imperfections within our lives or highlighted them, then we're not going to grow.